Amazing. Welcome, welcome. I'm here with the wonderful Jacquie Bamber, who has very graciously said she'll come and chat about this new modality that we've come across called the Mace Energy Method, which I heard about maybe 3 months ago. I think it might have been about 3 months, might keep it. And so I went ahead and had a session, and then some other people in the community have, and now Jacquie's had a session. I'm currently training to be a practitioner, but I was super, super excited to capture this moment with Jacquie because she's just had her first two big sessions, which is always how you start with the Mace process. So yeah, wonderful, Jacquie, to be able to talk to you today and hear about your experience. So do you want to start with what took you there? Like what was it about this that had you go, oh my God, yes, that's the thing that I want?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've worked together for a while in obviously one-on-one and obviously in your community and programs and things. And yeah, and obviously working kind of work with Claire on Reset, which took me very deep into this sort of trying to find the sort of root cause of my suffering and why things weren't working out, or why I was just kind of got to always seem to get to a certain stage, but there was just this last stuff just not falling away. And I've done a lot of work, a lot of work on myself, because it's just, and it got to a stage where even though the work on myself, it wasn't, I was like, oh, at first maybe it was like desperate. I needed to find something I needed, and that has definitely all fallen away, and it was very much just sort of, yeah, I can see so much, but there's just this last pocket or something I can't reach. And it really does, yeah, did to feel unreachable. So yeah, and I just felt a bit almost like sort of stuck and like puzzled to why this wasn't, I wasn't getting to it. Yeah. So obviously you mentioned that you'd come to, to Mace, and you'd had your session. I kind of listened to the audiobook, excuse my dog, listened to the audiobook and was very much sort of intrigued and kind of needed to know more. And obviously the conversations that you've been having in Wildfig and in Circle have been very, oh gosh, I really need to know more about this. And then obviously I think it took me to Scott Killaby, because I seem to hear something in him about this sort of this deeper repression, this sort of, and him being in anger, he represses anger. I kind of really heard so much in what he was saying about me. So yeah, I kind of went over to listen to what he was saying for a bit, as well. And but there was just, I don't know, that just felt such hard work. um yeah, and then so the other week when you said, why don't you just go and have a Mace session? But I think just because of our connection, and I know how wonderful you are, I just really wanted to wait for you, but it just seemed to be a bit longer than you thought you would be ready to start using this and in here. So I went for a session. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Yeah, and so me too, totally that resonance with like there's something here that I just can't get to. And I think that's so valid as a yeah, we've both done lots of work. We've like excavated so much layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. And so it was so evident, but there's something still here and there's no access to it. There's no modality that seems to be reaching it. Perhaps some energy work would, but it I guess the thing with Mace, it's so pointed and directed, isn't it? It's like so specific. So it's
Yeah.
not, you don't have to hope that it gets that thing with that energy session today. It's like, no, you're definitely going to get that thing. Like there is no question.
Yeah.
Um, but just a little like side from that, although that's where we were, you don't have to wait till you're at those like final excavation points. It's like you
No.
can go at any point. Like we could have gone 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, oh, good, sorted. We could have gone before we even started a spiritual exploration. It's like
Yeah.
that's what I find super cool about it, is that it doesn't matter where you are, because the root cause is the root cause is the root cause. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
wherever you are on your journey, it's gonna take you straight there. So
Absolutely. But it's funny because I'm so glad. Well, it was obviously, I wasn't meant to kind of see this until now, because it just feels like everything is just oh my gosh, yeah, of course. And I think with that energy, the whole change in the way kind of I'm just like moving around the world. It's almost like, well, oh God, I'm so glad that all feels so perfect. It also, I'm so glad I kind of know, because it's sort of, it makes everything feel, I don't know, so much, it makes so much more sense. And yeah, obvious of this obvious. And I know I've said that before at every kind of stage, but this feels obvious.
love it. Yeah. And so I guess there's that thing of like there's the perfection of everybody's journey. Whatever your journey is, it's yeah, yours has been perfectly and unique to you, and mine too. Like I was literally just thinking yesterday, it's like everything that has happened before this point has been absolutely perfect to bring me to this point for this now. It's like
Yeah,
could not have been any more perfect. And so
yeah.
the same for everybody else. At whatever point they find this, that's their perfect time, no matter where they are. But it's
We wouldn't know, would
yeah.
we? If
We
we
wouldn't
would
know. We wouldn't
yeah,
know anything else. Yeah.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit what it's feeling like now. So this is on the back of the first two sessions, which is like a chunky, usually hour and a half to 2 hours, and then a 30 to 45 minutes for the second part. So yeah, what's it like?
Yeah, I mean, even before, when you kind of give me snippets of what kind of, I was sort of piecing bits together, but and it's amazing how the mind sort of grabs, oh, this feels too good to, this sort of feels too good to be true. And then, yeah, just the whole process, I felt as, I mean, I didn't know, I mean, I'd had a tiny conversation with this lady, and God, I'm putting myself in this, but it was, I don't know. She was just so lovely, and obviously, she explained things first, but it was almost like, right, we're right in here, and we're going into this process, and we're like, oh, right, okay, here we go, sort of thing. But it was so easy to, um, eh, eh, yeah, to get that vision of what that horrible thing. What, it was so clear that I could, I wrote a sort of in my journal all these images, and they were all the similar sort of thing, but it seems the main core was like something out of Ghostbusters, like this image that came up with teeth and black, and it was all very strange. Yeah, but immediately my mind could come up with an image for that absolute root of what it was, and that really kind of, I was like, wow, wow.
Yeah,
Went
amazing.
straight
Amazing.
straight to it.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
I seem to have had to go, and still not come to that, even going around the houses a bit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. There's such a strong sense in the whole ethos. It's like there's so much clarity that there's the knowing that we are all that, we are that intelligence, that awareness, that being that knows. It's like there's no doubt in the creators or any of the practitioners, since it's like absolutely 100%. So we don't have to have any kind of like yeah, oh well, if you know that you're a spiritual being, it's like no, you are, and we know you are, and we're
Yeah,
going to treat you as such.
yeah.
And
And
you are all
all the
knowing.
words were everything. I was like, oh, yeah, she must. But then I'm like, well, has she? I don't think, from the small conversation that we'd had, I don't think she's been on this very long non-dual journey herself. It's just something she did the same, and now she wants to put this out into the world, because she's
Yeah,
seen the effects it's had on herself as well.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. So tell us about the effects for you, Jackie, which, and I appreciate you're kind of like about a week past your second session, not even.
yeah, well, not even, it was Tuesday. When I had, came, it was it Thursday? Yeah, I think it was a Thursday evening, and yeah, I just was a bit delusional. I just was like, it was almost like, yeah, I could feel myself like in my body, but I wasn't really with it. It was just, I mean, obviously things are happening, dinner was being made, and but there was no kind of, I don't know, this. I just felt like there was no thought process and anything. It was just sort of, and I just thought, oh, maybe I'm just really tired, or I don't know. Anyway, had a great night's sleep, and literally I got out of bed, put my feet on the floor, and it was this emptiness. I can't describe it as anything else. I just felt empty, as if my insides, nothing was touched, like all the organs were all like freed off. There was nothing touching, and definitely nothing. If you shook me, there wouldn't be any jangling or any sort of movement. Everything was just pretty, and it was just really quiet. Um and I didn't even, and before, when I've done kind of work with Claire and things, I've wanted to, like, I'd felt a little lightning or a little sort of, things had kind of fall away, and and I think I've said to you, I'd want to go and poke the bear to see if it was, if it was real, or is this, but this time it was like, it was a solid, it was like, no. And this space, the spaciousness of, was yeah, it's so clear and obvious that I didn't need to really put a lot of thought into, and I wasn't thinking about stuff that I kind of usually thought about, and anything that was yeah, like sometimes, like Beanie again had a little, and my dog had a little bit of a blip, and she hadn't been eating, but instead of like, oh my gosh, going down, this is, here we go again, it was so like nothing. I didn't grab anything. Um,
Mm.
it was so different from anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds so yeah, so grounded, so clear, so much like that thing where we say when you know your true nature, it's just known, like there's no questioning, all the questions fall away. It sounds like you were really deeply experiencing that,
Yeah.
where it's just there's nothing to debate, there's nothing to have an internal narrative about because what? This is life living. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is happening.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And the yeah, the yes, if something, you'll yes, or yeah, I do want to do that,
Yeah.
or no. But without any kind of hooking or thought, or oh, I don't know. It was no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. Clean yes and no.
And then
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, and then I kind of went into the second session, and that was interesting again in itself. It was sort of it was almost like the sort of residual stuff that that maybe had, because I kind of I explained, she said, obviously, how are you, feeling after that, and I just sort of said what I've kind of said to you, and she went, yeah, yeah, that sounds pretty, what most kind of people say, and that's great, and that is, she just kept saying, but and that is who you really are, that is your, your true nature, that is who you really are. And like, oh gosh, isn't it funny, these words, we've heard them so long, but it just felt so real, and so, well, no, yeah. um and then, yeah, so we went into this sort of final sort of clearing up in other areas, and it almost like was like, yeah, tick, tick, tick. And yeah, it was a just ended, had a beautiful conversation, and it just felt complete.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. And I love how you're talking about it in kind of the way it is. It's quite it's very much a process. Like it's very much yeah, as I said before, it's very directed. We know exactly where to go, we know exactly how to get there. So we're just going to go there and we're just going to clear up that stuff. And that, yeah, that really is obviously from all the research that went into creating it in the first place is what's created that as it is now, with that ability to be so clear and direct about it, but in such a loving way. Like I'm sure you felt that from the lady you went to.
Oh yeah.
um yeah, yeah, which makes
Just
sense.
absolutely. She was so I felt her this whole, holding there was no fear, and like you were saying about the directness, it was a split set. I knew directly where to find, and then it was like obvious that she wasn't, it wasn't her that was it was just the process that was allowing that. It was almost like going down a slide without catching my clothes on the edge. It was just straight to that. And how amazing that, well, it must, I don't know, I kept thinking, well, was it that I just felt so at ease with her, or that it was allowed to, or was it that was the mind just wasn't messing with the situation? It just took me straight to that.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And because, like I said, of the context it's set up within, it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, as the practitioner, you're so clear on what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and who the other person really is, who you really are. So the whole thing is set up for that, I guess, yeah, for success. When the person is ready for that change, and we all know that point in ourselves when it's like, oh my God, I am so ready for this to be gone,
yeah, yeah.
then all of those ingredients together make it, yeah,
Mm.
that's what has it all work.
Because she used a word, like, I can't remember at the beginning, like a word that yes, said that you're absolutely almost like drenched in it. You just want it gone. I can't remember the word she used. And then when she repeated back what I kind of had said that I wanted at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I did say that. It's like, oh yeah, and you can have anything that you're like, oh my God, it just felt like it wasn't sort of a, oh, I'm just, this sounds a nice sort of thing, but it was like, bloody hell. Yeah, I do have my shit after all.
Yeah, I love it.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, those original statements make no sense anymore, do they? It's like,
mm, yeah.
does not compute.
Oh, it was just, yeah, unbelievable. And yeah, for me, who sometimes a bit sort of skeptical about sort of stuff, and I don't know, but I was just, I don't know, it really, I suppose that first sort of resonance of that conversation with you, and or yeah, hearing about it, and then and then yeah, to have actually had it, that was just, yeah.
Mm, yeah, amazing, amazing. Yeah, and I think you've made some really important points there about that, like that resonance. When it happens, it happens. And prior to that, we might have all sorts of like, which I'm sure plenty of people have had that. Oh, it's too simple. It's so easy. It can't just be that. And really, when you're ready, it's going to be right there for you, and it can be that simple, and it can be that easy, and yeah,
Yeah,
that specific, that yeah, again, that directedness to exactly what needs addressing. It's,
yeah.
yeah, it's quite phenomenal.
And I think until you've gone through the process, it was almost like, of course, that everything, just that falling away of the sort of doubt or the whatever. It's like, yeah, I mean, what was I even thinking, But yeah, until it's like, yeah, until you kind of do it, then you don't understand how just, I don't know, impactful, and yeah, clearing the decks.
Yeah, absolutely. So is
Mm.
there anything else you would say or share at this point? Anything else that you think you want to talk about, that you think people would particularly want to hear?
I think, yeah, just if I think anybody was just, had heard themselves, oh yeah, that sounds, it sounds interesting, or even, oh God, that sounds too good to be true. Or I think there is, I don't think you couldn't not get anything from this at all. Um, yeah, it's just the whole process is pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. Yeah, in such an awesome way. Amazing. Thank you, Jackie. Well, I certainly can't wait to be fully trained so that I can
Yeah,
start working
yeah,
with clients as well.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll be spreading the word, because yeah, you, me, there are so many more since I discovered it. So many people have gone to practitioners now because they're like, right, right, I want to try that too. So we're really, really excited about getting more people to discover it and get to live their lives. Fundamentally, that's what we all really want. So live our lives fully and with joy.
Freedom, freeing up. Yeah, I think I've noticed as well, just coming back, just like sleep. Not that I kind of have much problem with sleep, but the sleep just seems to be much more, such quality. It's almost I can't remember sort of having many dreams and things, but it just feels as if the sleep has been easy and it's been deep and replenishing and refreshing. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been quite interesting.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jacquie. I look forward to seeing how this evolves for you from here. But yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.